Imagine a place where reality twists into something far worse than a nightmare, where every face hides a predator, and every choice pulls you deeper into despair. In this game, you're not just running from a captor, you're battling your mind. Trapped in a fever dream where terror feels all too real. Every moment drips with fear, and escape might not even be an option. What if I tell you that we're all in this game? Because this game reflects how some people's lives are. It may not be you, but it surely is happening all around us at this moment. This is the game we will be talking about today. A whole game that felt like a fever dream, a recollection of grief, desolation, and sorrow. Perhaps a story from someone else's perspective. A story made out of stories of others. It is a story with an unshakable feeling of deja vu, stories that are constantly happening all around us at this moment. Perhaps this game is the perfect reflection of the current mental state of humans. It was stated that the game was made out of 5 unfinished horror games. Even though it said it should not be understood in chronological order, I still pulled it together cause rules are meant to be broken. Let's see how well my overthinking can do. And after hours, I compiled them into 3 stories. We start off with a poem or whatever this is, which maybe reflects the thoughts of this certain character, which we will call Character 1, where life seems meaningless to them and everything is just black and white. No man-made structures, landmarks, or any living being has a meaning in their eyes. They were maybe tired of enduring the pain the world brought them, so they decided to let go of the will and let go of life. They eventually fell into somewhere worse than where they were, perhaps mentally and physically. But then, someone came and pulled them out of that place. Though for the line, "Is death real?" I have no idea what it is trying to convey. Maybe they just can't believe that they are finally going to find peace. Character 1 woke up, doubting if they should trust the person who saved them. Every mentally fucked person would. Exploring the room that looked like an isolation chamber, they heard a speaker repeating the same sentence. They were called a demented subhuman being, which might suggest they're mentally ill, maybe depressed. The voice through the speakers offers them to experience the recollection phenomena, where they will get to experience perfectly happy nostalgia about everyone, everything, and everywhere, including themselves. All they have to do is take the pill or medicine offered to them. So they took the pill and went back in time, perhaps a nostalgic dream. But before that, we had an overview of what they were dreaming about. An old complex where they spent their entire childhood there, with their entire family, which is solely their mother. Every day was repetitive and usual, except for winter. They had a great attraction towards winter. This right here maybe implied their admiration for winter, but it's said that winter goes by so quickly. This year, maybe just reflecting themselves onto winter, seeing that winter and them are both the same. Now with the mind of an adult, they recall the nostalgic memories of their childhood, but in a mature view. I remember every time how I got so excited when winter arrives. When I finally saw the freckles of snow on the kitchen window again, I started to jump on my bed like a trampoline, and wishing and praying that winter will stay snowing forever. But it was not possible and did not last. Silly childhood soon has to learn the hard way of life in nature. Nothing can cure my broken heart like my own mother's cooking. For me, it's specifically homemade beef stew. Usually when she came back home with groceries for us, I always snuck up and peeped into some of the bags while she was away. Once I smelled a presence of beef, I would excitingly jump around and knew I'm going to have beef stew for dinner. My mother would stand by the doorframe, witnessing my energetic, immature naiveness. She would let out a remarkable warm smile afterwards. An old newspaper from the 90s. My mother always read one every early morning, enjoying her sweet tea. This one appears to mention something about a young girl who escaped from a basement after being imprisoned for almost 10 years by her father. What a cruel world, am I wrong? They then walk out of their unit, out to the complex. This here is self-explanatory. This is, I think, a metaphor for what we as humans are like. Walking through the complex, we found a letter with ink and a pen beside it, which then leads us to story 2. I think. These texts right here might not have been the character's thoughts, but maybe what was written on the letter. The whole thing describes that someone is going to take their own life and praying to the Lord that they go to heaven. Shortly after, we were shown this, which may suggest that the letter was written by Katerina, who died of cerebral hypoxia due to an attempt at redacted, which may spell out suicide. Then we get to this scene, where an unknown person is contacting us. We will call them Character 2, asking if we are a mental crisis hotline, which we are not. Through the conversation, we see that Character 2 is not in their right mind, fighting intense loneliness and questioning their own existence. We keep on pursuing and motivating Character 2 to not give up. After a while of no response, we called them to ensure that they were still alive. They picked up, but to no avail, we still didn't get any response. Then suddenly, that's the end of story 2. Is Character 2 Katerina? I guess we'll never know. The scene cuts and here we are, story 3. We're in a motel and weird things are happening in our surroundings. A phone call of heavy breathing, knocking on our door, car alarm going off, and the news suddenly turning on. The news talked about a kidnapped young girl called Katie. Not before long, we received a call, and all we hear is the muffled sound of a young girl, which seems to me sounded like "help me" or "someone help me." The police arrived at our door and the game told us to enter the bathroom. Upon opening the door, we saw a kidnapped girl, which I would like to think is Katie. The scene changed and now we're in a maze or some sort, with broken text occasionally appearing, and I couldn't understand a single thing about all of these and what it means. And then the scene changed to a place with a lot of hang puppets. There was a Japanese woman singing a weird song. I kinda understand Japanese, so I'd say like the song is legit and the song actually makes sense, like the Japanese makes sense and not just some kind of compiled stuff. I did some digging on this last scene and found the puppets are called Teru Teru Bozu, which is a small traditional handmade doll hung outside doors and windows in Japan in hope of sunny weather. Made from tissue paper or cloth. Not sure if it has any meaning in the game. I found no results from the song, so it's for you guys to discover. So this is the conclusion of story 1, or what I understood from it. It was about suicide and nostalgia. The feeling of nostalgia. Every single one of us always wants to go back to the past, to experience something again. Some of us would rather be submerged in a sweet dream of nostalgia than to stand up and fight again. Those happy moments in the past we always wish would never end. Those memories will never fade, but echoes of the past could never be heard again. Trying to understand the story, Character 1 wanted to take their own life, but the nostalgia or happy memories acted as an attempt to save them, to motivate them to get back up and keep fighting again. But I'm not entirely sure though. The sentence that read that they hardly deserve to even use this medicine might just suggest that if character 1 took their own life, then it means that their memories and everything they have been through will just be a waste. Just fragments of the past we know, yet in our heart they still remain. A gentle pull, a quiet pain. For though the years have flown so fast, we carry home within our past. And this is the conclusion of story 2. So the theme of story 2 was just around suicide. The scariest thing about story 2 is how relatable the story is. These things might be happening all around us at this moment. Maybe to your friends, maybe yourself. The suicide rate is the highest among our generation. I'm Gen Z by the way. I'm sure we are all familiar with how our mental well-being is. What the fuck?
Statistically.
Out of all the generations, we are the most depressed, and no one understands us. No matter what we do, our every action keeps on getting judged. We are constantly having silent battles against suicide, loneliness, and many more. And the conclusion of story 3, I couldn't really make up anything of all of those scenes of story 3, so I don't really know, and it's all up to you guys to decide and tell me in the comments what it is all about. And I just want you guys to know that all of these are just
a game theory. Thanks for watching.
But hey, it's just a game theory. Nah, I'm joking. I